plant cells and animal cells. We're going to compare and contrast the two types of cells. So plant cells, you're going to always see them in a diagram as having these kind of corners. That's because plant cells have cell walls. The animal cell does not have a cell wall. They both have a cell membrane or a plasma membrane around the outside. But that's inside. So here's the membrane. This is the cell wall. Okay, so here's the membrane. Something else that they have that's different, plant cells have a large central vacuole. And vacuoles store water and waste. Okay, so here's your vacuole. So when you see it in a plant cell, it's going to take up a large portion of the cell. Sometimes it can take up to 90% of the whole cell volume. And how plants use this, they fill up with water, and then that makes the whole plant kind of rigid. That's how the plant stands up tall and puts its leaves up toward the sun instead of just falling over. Okay? That's by filling that central vacuole with water. The animal cells have several small vacuoles. We used to not think that they didn't have any at all, but we discovered that they do. And they're just going to look kind of like this. The other thing that plant cells have that animal cells do not is chloroplasts. And chloroplasts do photosynthesis. So here's your chloroplast. When you see it pictured, it's going to have these little things in here that look like a stack of coins. That's an extra membrane where photosynthesis actually happens. Okay, that's the chloroplast. And so plant cells have the ability to do photosynthesis. And what photosynthesis does is it takes sunlight, the energy from sunlight, and converts it into sugar in the form of glucose. Okay, so animal cells do not have chloroplasts. They cannot do photosynthesis. So if you think about it, you don't have the ability as an animal, you don't have the ability to lay out in the sun and eat the sunlight, right? You don't produce your own sugars. You have to actually take them in from your diet. Plants make their own. Okay, so that makes them what we call autotrophs or self-feeding. And animal cells are heterotrophs, meaning that they rely on eating other things. So some other things that they have in common, they're both eukaryotes, so they both have a nucleus. Remember, bacteria or prokaryotes have no nucleus. Both animal and plant cells are eukaryotes. They both have endoplasmic reticulum. They both have a Golgi apparatus to package and ship things. They both have ribosomes to make proteins. They both have lysosomes to break down waste. So they have most things in common, but cell wall, large central vacuole, and chloroplasts are things that you find only in plant cells. So in this video, you have learned the difference between plant and animal cells, and you have learned the similarity.